The question that is asked, Dear Anonymous, what does it take to be a nobody, empty of ego? As long as you still believe in the idea you hold about yourself, you will never be free from the ego trappings. You'll never be free from the shadow. People are still vulnerable to social programming, social codes. They're very dependent on technology, cell phones, television, laptops, iPads, and all they do is reinforce our egoic wants, desires, confirmations, and sense of security. This allows us to police ourselves into assuming a certain type of role, a template of being a successful person in the world. This is how we get caught up within the fundamental error of egotism, spread by our media, education, military training, politics, religion. It brings us further away from healing our shadow aspects because we become comfortable in our subjugation. People who deviate from that are usually shamed. And this is why it's important to have the courage to clean sweep your mind of all these ideas, social codes, and conditionings that you have allowed to take the form of yourself. We need to implement the deconstruction of our mental barriers, peeling back the layers of the onion. It is vital to step out of the accumulated beliefs of who we think we are. If we're trying to live up to social expectations of being a somebody, we are creating a mind-made illusory image of ourselves that reinforces limitation and separateness, which activates the survival mechanisms of our beta reptilian brain. This causes automatic, autonomic, and physiological changes within the body, which produces stress and anxiety. Humans think 60 to 70 thoughts a day, and out of these thoughts, 90% of them are the same thoughts recycled from yesterday, which means that the same thoughts always lead to the same default choices, which lead to the same memorized patterns of behavior and experiences that drive the same negative worldview programmed into us by the ego matrix. We cannot let the past conditioning define our future. It is imperative that we take the time to discover ourselves in a deeper way. We are not our physical bodies imbued with consciousness. We are consciousness animating and experiencing our physical bodies. It is this field that gives rise to the material. When you are a nobody, you access the power of the non-local field of pure potential, and you believe less that you are a disconnected and powerless being, that the outside world is somehow controlling your storyline. The mind learns most by mistakes and surprises or novelty. This is how it grows, this is how it expands. You have to be the watcher of the mind, conscious of your unconscious thoughts, emotional buttons, automatic habits and behaviors by modifying them in order to forge new synaptic connections. This will allow you to see yourself in a greater impersonal way by stepping into the void of uncertainty, the quantum field of infinite possibilities, rather than from the familiar outworn mental activities of your binary mind. That does not mean that you don't honor things, relationships, experiences, and passing pleasures. You embrace the transitory flow of nature, for all experiences are reflections of your consciousness. Use your past memories to learn to become more aware, more present, not as a playground for unnecessary psychological suffering. Your presence is more than capable of dissolving the phantom self pretending to be you. You are the field of knowing that holds the space for everything to be. You have to be fully cognizant of what's going on and level the playing field by putting more presence to all of your unobserved aspects of your mental conditioning, so you don't delay the process of waking up. This way you have enough space to gain some objectivity, instead of always seeking desperate ploys for attention and acceptance. You have to shed all the layers of your programming. That's not to say that you do not abide by the social rules, having a job, paying your taxes, and fulfilling certain duties. But you cannot allow all these social codes of conduct, ideologies, and belief systems to define and limit you. If you decide that you're white or black, heterosexual or homosexual, religious, atheist, political, all of these are part of the 3D chessboard game of polarity that's constantly trying to divide you, separate you, to put you into a mental construct that society has laid out for you. Awakening is your ability to see through all of these illusions and to recognize that's not who you are. You awaken and you unplug from the channels of the shared unconscious dream that we have been trapped in. You're no longer feeding the polarization in the world, getting stuck in a self-perpetuating feedback loop. We must accept our intrinsic nature and embrace our nobodiness by letting go of all of our identifications, labels, problems, concepts, culture, status, and memories. We have added all of these things and more to the vastness of our primordial, eternal essence. So move into that space where you are just awareness. You have no opposite. It's not you and the world of phenomenality that you're observing as something different or separate from you. All of these things are your energy, all of these things are your reflection. You have to withdraw yourself from your mental projected tendencies that try to create this illusory world that appears around you. Who you are does not have a name. It doesn't have any borders, boundaries. It doesn't have an age, race, or gender. It's behind and beyond all of your thoughts, sensory perceptions, experiences, and forms that you've inhabited. It can't be seen because it is the one that does all the perceiving. It's the great perceiver. You have to be an antipsychotic agent of mindful presence so you don't propagate the ego mind virus, the spell of being a separate entity, I and other. You no longer allow your mind to produce negative hallucinations in which you get trapped in, seeing things that are not there. You want to own it, integrate it, and transmute it, making your unconscious conscious. This is the game changer. Who you are is not limited to a construct. Who you are transcends all thoughts, ideas, concepts, and forms. When you live moment to moment as the self, you'll see that there is no effort that is necessary in becoming a nobody. It's your very essence identity that doesn't need any changing. I hope this helps in some way.